Okay, just before the recap, there's just a 5-minute presentation by the country lead for the RISA Fund to talk about the RISA Fund. And Gameli Ajaho is making his way up to speak to us in 300 seconds about why you should be interested in RISA Fund. Let's put our hands together for Gameli. I know you're tired, you're weary, you are thinking about your coffee. Clap for the man, I beg you. I'm not feeling the energy. Oh, my people. Thank you, Gameli. So, yes, talk to us about the RISA Fund. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, hello. I hope you're all doing great. Okay. Don't worry, I'll do my very best. We'll do our very best to finish before the angel of death comes to our door. Yeah, so my name is Gamali Ajao, and I work as the country technical lead for the RISA Fund or the RISA Fund. It's an acronym for Research and Innovation Systems for Africa. And we work across 6 African countries, including Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa, Ethiopia, um, Kenya, and Rwanda. Um, we work with a wide variety of organizations, including universities, innovation hubs, private companies, and one of our key partners is Impact Investing Ghana. So we are really excited to support them. In Ghana, we have a particular focus on growing research to commercialization. How do we take advantage of research outputs or innovations and convert them into commercial products? That's where the question of financing comes in. It's been a very interesting couple of days for us to join this, hear all these conversations around financing, and we are looking forward to continue working with Impact Investing Ghana as well as other stakeholders in the ecosystem. So feel free, connect with me, reach out to us. And we are happy that there's an opportunity for this conference to move to Nigeria next year. I have my colleague from Nigeria, Alice, and maybe she can say a few words about the kind of projects they support in Nigeria.
Um, Not to take too long, I'm quite short, so I was very concerned about standing here today. But I'm very happy to be here. My name is Alice Omishori. I'm the country technical lead for Nigeria. I'm happy that this West African Deal Summit is actually going to be taking place next year in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we're currently working with the University of Lagos. We're working with the Nigerian Academy of Science and also an organization called Adam Smith International, which is focused on agriculture. Not to take up too much of your time, but thank you so much for inviting us, and we're happy to be part of this West African Summit. Thank you.
Yeah, but I'm not surprised because if you understand, his name means there is time, Gameli. So he made it under 5 minutes. Thank you so much, Gameli, for the presentation. And we're now at the closing recap. Can we have the Francophones come in and everybody else come in right now? We're ending our presentations. The whole shebang ends in a couple of minutes. I want to bring onto the stage board chair for Impact Investing Ghana, Mr. Alex Asiedu, as well as UN resident coordinator, Mr. Charles Abani, who was here yesterday and is here today as well. We know we are weary, we know we are coffee starved, but let's bring them onto the stage to recap for us. I'm sure they'll be as brief as possible and get you also to give your thoughts on this as we recap the learnings for the day, for the conference. Alex and Charles to take it over. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah, I'm already bored. All right. So yeah, all right. So I'm going to start with
we can't just not have women up here, please.
Yeah, you want to bring, so M wants to come.
We need one woman here at least.
Yes, yeah, I can cede some of our power to you, and you can bring some women on stage.
Actually, in the UN,
bring one woman here.
There can be no manels.
Yes.
So we can't have a manel.
Yeah.
Please.
So who would like to come up?
I think Amma jump.
Amma is coming. Yes, Amma. I think I want M also to be here. M, come around now. This one is for you. I cede my seat to you, Abby. M, this is for you. Yes. So all of them are going to have one key learning and we are done. All right. Oh, welcome the Francophones and everybody else. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Yeah. Let's clap for them. Thank you. Yes. Merci. Bienvenue. Yeah. Wonderful. Oh, okay. So all seats are filled. All right. Okay. So we can go. I think I want to keep one seat for one of the Francophone people. So either Yakuba or Bawel can come and take my seat. I'll go and stand over there. And then, so we have a nice balance. We are doing a recap. Is Madam Diop, you want to sit? Yes. Yeah, please. If Yakuba is not around, you can represent. Yeah, she's waiting for him to. She should come, right? Yes. They want you to come. So please come. Senegal is there. Let's go. All right. So I'm starting. Traditionally in Ghana, when you go like this, they say you've given the person a backhand. So I can't go like that. I have to go this way. So I'm going to start with Bawal Diop. What is your key thing that you've learned, either today or for both days of the West Africa Deal Summit? One thing you are taking back to your HQ.
I'm taking back home that we need to organize something like that in Senegal.
Yes.
And we need to continue to act and to talk together so that we can build a strong ecosystem.
Mhm.
And I need also to show you that the true jollof rice is from Senegal. So you need to come in Senegal so that I can show you.
Real jollof, eh? So Ghana and Nigeria should sit down. The real jollof comes from Senegal. If it's so. What's your big takeaway? Jollof or no jollof?
Nigeria's jollof rice is the best.
What's your takeaway?
The story. Okay, I think my takeaway really from this past few days, and again, I'm repeating myself because I've said it everywhere I've sat, is the localization agenda is the very important point of capacity building and growing the development sector and those operating in the development sector, intermediaries, accelerators, etc., building their capacity to better serve the entrepreneurs in the region and to get recognition from the global stage about the work that they're doing locally. I think that for me is the big takeaway, and also hope that Andy can provide the support to do that. It's not just about talking about the takeaways and what everyone is saying, it's also about the responsibility that we as agencies are going to do in order to support the building of the ecosystem. So that's my takeaway.
Thank you very much, Em. Before Charles comes on, I think there's a thing about Toyota keys. They have a mind of their own. All the missing keys have been Toyotas. I have another one. I don't know if it's AI influence or anything, but the owners are missing. The keys are found. I have a Toyota key here. So please see me. Charles, I hope it's not your car.
No, it's not.
All right, what's your takeaway?
I'm just going to crave your indulgence. I'm going to seize. I was already going to take the space a bit more to say a few things.
Okay.
And this Jollof discussion forces me to make my point about indigenous knowledge and alternative narratives. I actually have written a piece in response to UNESCO's declaration, and I work for the UN, so I'm authorized to disagree. So here's my version of it, being a historian and an anthropologist. A certain person from a certain part of the world that we probably can guess landed on the shores of Senegal, went to a place which is actually Wolof land, not Jollof land. They served him a colored rice. He ate it, and as he came further down the west coast and was offered in traditional African hospitality more rice that was colored, he kept bumping into colored rice. And then they asked him, so what would you like? And he says, oh, I'll have a bit more of that jollof rice. And gradually, as he went across the coast, so the name went. Because anthropologically, we have all been cooking versions of colored rice forever. The only thing I do say is, thank God he didn't come through Spain. Oh, it would have been a paella. Or that he didn't come through India, or it would have been a biryani. So the truth is, all jollof rices are great jollof rices. They just happen to historically and accidentally be called jollof rice. And incidentally, named in that manner, but all these rices are indigenous, and we should all be proud of our rices and eat them merrily.
That's all. Thank you.
So that's the jollof rice story. Yesterday, I didn't get to say as much as I would have liked to have said about what the UN is doing. So I'm just going to do a recap because I know there are a few colleagues in the room here from some UN agencies, but I'd really like you to reach out to a number of them. And I'm just going to name them and talk a bit about what they're trying to do, if you haven't connected with that. UNDP, UNICEF, UNOPS, WHO, UNCDF are a number of the organizations working on this. And there are a raft of things in the ecosystem, ranging from working with government specifically in this sector, but also helping the government to see how it might use tools to actually do some of the more mighty projects that government is involved in. Yeah, and WFP, sorry. But I would like to just highlight, particularly for this part of the ecosystem, the work of UNCDF in its Green Innovation Challenge, the Bridge and Build Fund, and some of that. UNDP's Accelerator Lab, Innovate Hub, and the SG Home of Business, among other things. And I think the great Timbuktu conversations that are also taking place and also helping to create acceleration. UNIDO, who is often thought of as being very much in the industrial space, are working on a number of areas, particularly around competitiveness, as we really drive to be global actors in this space. And obviously, IFAD, the IFAD have a lot of work in this area too, working particularly in agri value chains. And I think WFP, in what I think is probably one of the most innovative shifts from being the World Food Programme, who typically hand out food, have moved now into the whole value chain area, particularly looking at nutrition. And so those of you who are working in that specific area, I know Barbara's not here today, but there's a lot of work that can be done at that level. Glad to coordinate to enable you to get access to those agencies. But really there is a plethora of work, and it's great to see our colleagues coming through. So just back on key messages, and of course, because Peter's really, really good, he's given me every bullet point from everything. So I'm just going to pick a few. First of all, Impact Investing Ghana, a huge shout out to you guys. You've done an amazing, amazing job. And I'm linking it to the SDGs. SDG 17 talks really about partnership. We cannot do this stuff without each other. And we all bring core competencies to the table, and none of this will ever be achieved. So the term cooperation, collaboration, that allows us still to thrive and be who we are, but be a collective, that's really the spirit. And I think you guys are doing an amazing job in trying to build that. I always say money follows good ideas, not the other way around. So if you have an amazing idea, you'll be surprised. Money will come your way. And I think across this event and events still to come, there'll be huge opportunities to build the skills, the strategies, the tactics to get it. But get that amazing idea really together. I think there are all sorts of messages here, but scale is important. I guess my small p political message, and it feeds back to this whole indigenous knowledge, just like indigenous rice. We know so much on this continent, and we have so much to offer. And so the idea necessarily that somebody else is going to show us how to do this is actually just not true. And we have to stop creating a showcase where actually large Western establishments come, cherry pick all our unicorns, rebrand them and relabel them. And the reason why African impact investing is so important is because this enables us to own this intellectual property, to own these assets and these intellectual assets right here on the continent. And we better wake up, because if we don't do it, someone will. A last word on risk takers, and I think somebody on this table will tell me. I always say, take risks, and she would say to me, innovators are born risk takers. Entrepreneurs are born risk takers. So don't talk to us about risk, and particularly women entrepreneurs are born risk takers anyway. So, but let's take those risks and let's really build that space. We'll play our role. Probably it won't be large chunks of money, but it will be hopefully using, I guess, the legitimacy and the space that we have to open the kinds of doors that enable people who really know what they're talking about to come into the room while we get out of the way and really to help this process to happen. More dialogue is needed. So my last pitch is about the SDG Aims Summit that we will propose again in partnership and in collaboration with many of the actors around the table today, which is we're going to try to get it to be Africa-wide and really bring some of the power of the UN to bring the right people, not all the UN people, the right people to the table to have that conversation. It was held in Nairobi last year. I took on the fact that it would come to the West Coast this time, and so it will happen in Accra, and I look to all of you to drive that process and expect more from that space. With that said, thank you guys. Amazing, amazing, and let's keep it up.
All right, thank you very much, Charles. And from Charles to Amma Jampo.
Thank you. I mean, this has been an amazing 2 days. I feel proud to have been one of the founding members of Impact Invest in Ghana. At the time we started working on this, early morning meetings, we'd all carve a bit of time in our diaries, documentation, research, grammatical corrections in offsites. It's great to see Burkina here, Senegal here, more coming along. Because when we started, it was just us in West Africa. There was only South Africa. So it's just great to see the momentum building and the collaborative action that we're really advocating for and driving. So let's not leave our entrepreneurs too long to suffer in silence, like Constance spoke about. I mean, 2 decades of working quietly. We spoke to a startup earlier. I don't think Ifwa's probably gone home now, but she's really struggling and she's really blind to what's available in the ecosystem. So let's keep the narratives louder. Let's amplify our voices. Let's collaborate, and just more of the same. And many thanks to our board chair, Alex Asiedu, and to Mrs. Awushika as well for her support and leadership. Thanks so much to you as well, Amma, for your leadership.
All right, and we mentioned his name earlier, and here he comes, Alex Asiedu, with his recap, key learnings.
Well, quick recap. What can be measured can be funded. I like that. But over the past, I've spent all the hours here because this place feels like an island. Yes, because when you go out, it's always a lot of bad news. You wonder what's going on. But here, you realize that there are still great people with great ideas, with great desires to change our system. And what I learned again is that we need a transformational mindset to drive that change, and we can do it. And so I am happy about that. I leave the place as an optimist, because if we are able to collaborate and put these ideas together, then like Madam Aoshika said, we can do it even in spite of our governments. So thank you very much for coming, and it's been great connecting with all of you.
And last but not the least, Nisha Tego.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So I actually wasn't even a speaker. I just came to support Charles and his risk-taking abilities. But I am Tanisha Tego, and I am the creator of the Ladies Entrepreneurship Club. So I think M's point about me coming up for gender balance, I'm bringing women from across 18 countries with me. I did have a few lessons I learned, but what I like to do at the end of an event is actually create a few messages that I say back to myself. So I'll tell you the lessons I learned, and then I would like you to kind of say some of these mantras back to yourselves with me. Is that okay? You could do a little bit of participation. So one of the things I really think I took away is that value equals revenue. Did anyone get that feeling there? Right? The more value we offer, the more we will get back out of it. And if revenue is our ultimate goal, of course, that's what we'll get back out. So value equals revenue. Second, I think it's been repeated a lot, is partnerships are key. The ability for Amma and her team to get this together, as you told me yesterday, has been all about the partnerships, especially because this is a room full of people that really need each other, right? So I think partnerships are key. And then the last one, and I took this from the entrepreneur yesterday, is actually we need to be more willing to enter the field and learn from our end users. Does anyone else feel here like they could benefit more from entering the field? Yeah, right? And also that other people that were speaking today could have benefited more from entering our fields. Anyone feel like that? Yeah, there's a lot they could learn. So those are my 3 things. So I always tell my entrepreneurs that entrepreneurship is a journey to self-discovery, right? So with that in mind, there are a few things that I have discovered that I want to tell myself this following this event, that I want you to repeat after me. So I am not a risk taker. I am a strategic decision maker. No, guys, no. Serious, you have to believe in yourselves. I am not a risk taker. I am a strategic decision maker.
I am not a risk taker. I am a strategic decision maker.
Good, because you need to measure, don't you? Right, so strategic is important. I will take advantage of all the opportunities.
I will take advantage of all the opportunities.
I will do the hard things.
I will do the hard things.
I do not need to be brave because I am capable.
I do not need to be brave because I am capable.
And finally, the things that I need are already around me.
The things that I need are already around me.
It was a good 2 days, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah, nice one. Thank you, Tanisha. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Amma. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, M. Thank you, Bowell. And thank you, Amma Latte, who has to make a quick announcement before we scoot off to our well-deserved cocoa, coffee, tea, cookie break.
So before we scoot off, Charles, don't be so quick. Today is the birthday of a very special person. And when I met Charles, I moderated a panel that he was on last year. And at that time, Mrs. Awoshika had said, you guys should just do it. But we didn't have any money. And I told him, we're thinking of doing a summit. And he said, oh, we'll support you. And then he put together a meeting of all the UN. He just had been an amazing partner. But today is his birthday, so we will all sing, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Is it her birthday too? And the birthday twin.
House. Happy birthday to
Nanekwa, can you join us?
Hip, hip, hip.
A cake for him after at the dinner. He's quite shy, but maybe we mention it. After dinner.
We are king. We give all people. And Charles, some friends who love you very much put together something small for you to remember the first West Africa Deal Summit, where you got to celebrate your birthday on the stage, and we all love you very much. It's another person's birthday, but we decided for him we'll do a quiet celebration. But Andy, you can give us a wave. We won't put you on the stage, and we'll do a quiet celebration later. Hey. Hey. So thank you. Keep being an inspiration and enjoy the rest of your birthday and the whole weekend. Thanks for spending it with us. Thank you also, Nane, and thank you, Andy, for spending your special day with us. Before we close, we want to thank some really special people who've been working behind the scenes to make all this happen. Everybody has commented on how well organized everything is and said thank you, Amma. But there are a number of really special people who made this happen. And I'd like to call, if you could all give a rousing round of applause to Mary. I'm sure everybody in this room has received an email from Mary at some point over the last 4. Mary, could you put it on? Okay. Mary, we love you. Thank you for keeping us all on our toes and for all the late nights. And we really appreciate the joy you bring to your work. Would also like to thank Justina, who ran the deal rooms and who built the Deal Source Africa platform with her Nigerian colleagues and who works like crazy to support entrepreneurs to find money and who does it with grace and love and so they feel good along the journey. I think Justina is still wrapping up at the deal room. And then Etimore, who is a colleague from Nigeria. I know she's also not been in the room, but she's been a champion. About a month to when this summit was supposed to happen, we looked at the budget and said, I think we should cut and really reduce the scope of the event. And Etimori said, let's give it one more week. And in that week, the number of commitments we got were just amazing. And so thank you to Etimori, even though she's not here, for just being a trooper in all the planning and helping us have faith when some of us practical people were ready to downscale. And then would like to call Emilia, who has been doing all the comms. Emilia is the newest addition to the team, and she's been trying to make us all happy from Nigeria to Ghana, delivering comms for this year. We love you, Emilia. We appreciate all the hard work. You're the best. And then from the Nigeria team, we have Emmanuel, who also worked alongside Justina on the deal rooms. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. We appreciate all the hard work. Okay, great. And then to the rest of the Impact Investing Ghana team, I think we have Julia. Julia is the sweetest, kindest partnerships manager in the world. God bless you. And also, for the rest of you, if you could give us a wave, Irene, Mohammed, Julius, and all those who have worked. We have volunteers. And then our event organizer, so professional. I would like to give her a special shout out. If you're organizing a conference in Accra and you want an empathetic and dedicated person, definitely go to Linda. She's the best. We're happy to recommend her 1,000,000 times over. Problem solving. Thank you so much, Linda. We can't end without thanking our sponsors, FCDO and the RISA Fund. They've been amazing partners throughout this journey and supporting us to build the platform, believing in our vision when we said it was going to be a West Africa launch, not a Ghana launch, providing additional funding sometimes when we needed it. They are a perfect example of catalytic funding, and we want to thank them. We also have other partners who would like to thank, including FMO Ventures. We would like to thank the World Food Programme, who came in at the last minute with a very substantial contribution that really enabled the conference. The Mastercard Foundation Africa Growth Fund, an excellent example of what catalytic capital should look like in a structure. And we also like to thank Orange Corners. Orange Corners was the sponsor of the deal room and brought a delegation of entrepreneurs. And their feedback and partnership is really going to help us make this conference work better for entrepreneurs in the future. We'd like to thank the Venture Capital Trust Fund, AVPA, Leap Africa, Andy, and all our partners. God bless you. And we look forward to seeing you all in Nigeria in 2024. All our partners still supporting all the entrepreneurs with stories to tell of the money that you've raised and the impact that you've had over the year. Thank you.
And I cannot let this summit end. We cannot without thanking a final special person. So don't go too far. Come back up. I don't have too much time to say a lot, but I think all of our team, our partners, and a lot of you in the room know just how inspirational, what a fantastic leader, change maker, entrepreneur to the core, but just a fantastic person. You're an amazing person to work with. I'm going to try not to cry now. No, but really, thank you, Amma, because I think without you, we wouldn't actually be here today. So I want you all to give you a round of applause, and you get your chocolates as well. Please give her a big round of applause. Amma Latte, CEO of Impact Investing Ghana. Thank you. Okay. Cocoa break, and thank you, everyone.
Oh,
yeah, sorry, that was you.
We've got the key, the Toyota key. So, owner, please come for it. Thank you very much. It's been great. Have a wonderful, wonderful remainder of the day. And God willing, we meet at the next West Africa Deal Summit. My name is Kafui Day. Good day, and God bless.
Need to be now, cause I'm done with it now. No more damages, no more damages. Back then when I was a baby girl, I was yours and you were my world. Tell me what you wanna do for me now. Take you down and I will hold you to run my race, cause you run it right there. Run my race, could you take it right there? I've been down, I've been running right there. I've been out, could you take it back there? Pull up tonight, I might be risky. Bobby stomach, forget the whiskey. But you still wanna get back with me. You tryna be the one and deal with. Don't got my phone, you're not in my band. You miss the way in not the one chance. I live my life, don't need you with me. Yeah. So tell me what you need now. I know what you need to be now, cause I'm done with it now. No more damages now. So tell me what you need from me now. You know where I need to be now, cause I'm done with you now. No more damages, no. Tell me what you need from me now. I know what you need to be now, cause I'm done with you now. No more damages now. So tell me what you need from me now. I know what you need to be now, cause I'm done with you now. No more damages, no.
Yo, ni bahati tena mtoto mama. They call me the ghetto president.